You are listening to the daily homily for Magdala in the Holy Land.
When the time arrived for Elizabeth to have her child, she gave birth to a son. Her neighbors and relatives heard that the Lord had shown his great mercy toward her, and they rejoiced with her. When they came on the 8th day to circumcise the child, they were going to call him Zechariah after his father. But his mother said in reply, "No, he will be called John." But they answered her, "There is no one among your relatives who has this name." So they made signs asking his father what he wished him to be called. He asked for a tablet and wrote, "John is his name." And all were amazed. Immediately his mouth was opened, his tongue freed, and he spoke, blessing God. Then fear came upon all their neighbors, and all these matters were discussed throughout the hill country of Judea. All who heard these things took them to heart, saying, "What then will this child be? For surely the hand of the Lord was with him." The child grew and became strong in spirit, and he was in the desert until the day of his manifestation to Israel. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
The biggest virtues we need in the spiritual life are faith, hope, and charity. And it is clear that both Zechariah and Elizabeth were people of faith. And Zechariah was serving in the temple. His wife was from the people of Aaron, the high priest, with Moses. And so a family of the great tradition of the chosen people serving in the temple. So a people of faith, they surely believe God created the world. They believe that his word, especially the Ten Commandments, the Torah, the prophets, were very important. And so they were living a devout life, a faithful life. They were pious people. And so they had faith. And yet Zechariah struggled with faith when God asked him to do something. And maybe we do as well. And then he had given up a little bit on hope. You know, Elizabeth is not possible that she can have a child. And God can't do that. We can't expect that from God. And this is the year of hope, the Jubilee year of hope. And we should pray for all the seminarians today in Rome who are in the Jubilee year of hope, because if the priests don't have hope, the future priests, then God's people are in trouble. And we all have to grow in hope. And then the area of love. And it's not that they show a lot of love here, they do, but they're receiving love. And this is probably one of the greatest takeaways from today's readings, that God is the one who is loving them. And they have a very powerful experience of God's love. He is the one who gives them this child. And there are many words here in the readings that reflect this. You have formed me, my inmost being, in my mother's womb. You knit me. And people knit clothes. When we were children, my mom taught us to knit. And the detail that goes into it, and to knit a big sweater, an iron sweater, a lot of stitches. And so when it says God knit us, it's like he's putting the DNA together, he's putting the limbs together, the teeth, all of the things that go into a human being. He knit me. What a beautiful thought. The detailed love that goes into the making of a human being. And John the Baptist didn't ask for that. he wasn't able to because he didn't exist. God gave him that. So we start off with a lot of gifts of love of God. And to discover this and ponder it and not take it for granted is a duty to ourselves of recognizing who we are. It's like somebody inherits a farm and they never go out and check out the fields and the forests and the river and the livestock on the farm, the way it's cultivated, what crops it can have. They never go out to see it. It'd be pity. Somebody get a beautiful house inherited in a city and you never go and see it. You don't know what's there. You don't even bother. And we need to look at ourselves and say, what God knit together to make me. My person, so many features of his providence in my life. And my grandparents had a big role because they're the ones that shaped my parents, who directly shaped me. In many things, in their culture, in their way of life, they had surely some defects, but I need to think out what are the good things I got through them. If I just think out about the bad things, gosh, that's no place to start in life. No matter what great defects they might have had. To start pondering systematically how much goodness was poured into my life by God who knit me together. My soul also you knew full well. So it's not just thinking about our body, and it's a marvelous work of creation. Extraordinary. Peak creation in the entire material universe, the human being. And yet our body is only a small reflection of all that God knits together in our soul. And where would we start thinking about this? Our capacity to think, our capacity to will, to decide, our capacity to love, our capacity to make connections, our capacity for relationships. These are coming not from my hands. My hands are helpful in developing the relationships. I shake hands, I hug, I give a little pat on the shoulder, I caress a little child. All of these things, it's from my soul they're coming. And the Lord knitted my soul to be able to study, to read. And the knitting went on through the providence of school, of parents, of people, just a little baby, and you place something in front of their eyes to get to show them different colors. We just saw the twins here the last couple of years. How many details are given to waking up that child, and that's God knitting that child together in their souls. I was made in secret. I was fashioned in the depths of the earth. God had a plan for me that nobody was actually deciding to make. It was God deciding to make it. And then if I have a hang-up and I'm one of those kind of people that's always complaining, I need a good shake-up. Like Zechariah, shut up, excuse the language, shut up, and spend 9 months pondering all that God has given you as you see your wife becoming more and more pregnant and ready to give birth, and the baby is born and you're still dumb, you cannot speak. Maybe we need this kind of shake-up in order to discover the amount of love, the intensity of love, the drivenness of God's love into our lives to set us up. And then Elizabeth and John the Baptist and Zechariah, they're going to respond to that love of God. And there's extraordinary love in their hearts. But our love is a response to God. Our faith is a response to his presence. Our hope is built on all he has done for us, for humanity, for history, the history of salvation, to the gift of Jesus, and all John Baptist's role in this. No wonder John the Baptist said, I must decrease so he increases. And that's why it's celebrated after the summer solstice, when the days start to get smaller. John says, I must decrease so that Christ increases.
Thank you for joining us today. If you want to learn more about Magdala, follow us on YouTube and on Facebook.